Hey everybody, so here we are. We're on chapter 14. We have 14, 15, and 16 left, and then a final quiz, and we are done for the semester. We'll have cranked out 16 chapters, an entire book in 10 weeks. Really proud of you. I'm building right now the final exam, and it'll be actually handled through Desire to Learn, not through the Pearson site, right? So you'll have your grade will immediately populate into your paperwork or your site. I've also updated all of the assignments up through chapter 9. I had them all done today. I had everyone done to 13, and I hit save, and the site went down. Desire to Learn, or on my side it did, and I lost all of it. So today I'm going to be going back through and re-uploading those. All right, so let's get to it. Interest groups. I love interest groups. I've often before talked about how that I've done lobbying work, nonprofit work in DC. This is all about interest groups, okay? We've heard of certain interest groups, right? You have interest groups like the Cato Institute, right? Very conservative, right-leaning organizations. There's other ones too, of course, that are left-leaning, and they're everywhere, right? There's tons of interest groups. You even have the NRA has an interest group. There are interest groups for teachers, NEA, National Educators Association, which is a union. We have an interest group. There are interest groups in every industry: food industry, oil and gas, climate change. There's interest groups in that. You name it, right? There are a lot of defense contractor or say terrorism interest groups. They specialize in looking at the bulk of data in a certain area, and then they go and use their financial background, because they have a bigger background or a bigger purse, to go and do all this research and then present the research to the government and say, look, we've done all this research for you. So we think. Now, there could also be things like Raytheon, Dynacorp, Vanell, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, companies that have an interest in defense contract money, spending, making planes, guns, weapons, so on. They actually could have an interest group, okay? So interest group isn't necessarily bad, but an interest group has the ability to sway our elected officials, including bureaucrats. Now, I've attached the crash course videos to this. I think they're very good. They go a little quicker in depth into some of this. I'm not going to touch on, but you think about the sense that if you and I were to contact a congressman or a senator and say, I would like you to address this issue, that's one person. That's just one person reaching out to a congressman, senator. An interest group has the ability to reach all of them. They can tackle the entirety of everyone involved who make decisions on an issue. Now, going back to the issues that I've been involved in, of course, deals with domestic and international child abduction, specifically in family-based child abduction. So I have helped out, and I've done lobbying work, and I've written press releases and other stuff, and I've worked with a group we put together. We thought would be a great bill, and then submitted it to congressmen, and they agree to it, and maybe they decide to rewrite a little bit here and there and submit it. Okay, we're an interest group. We specifically were trying to get laws passed or House resolutions to address the issue of international or domestic child abduction, right? It's a good topic. And so we would work together as just one collective, one organization, or we may work with, and often did, with many organizations, although we all had different thoughts and things we centered on. We could come together and agree on one topics and use our pulled resources, volunteers and so forth, and money, and then go tackle this, hitting senators and congressmen and the Department of Secretary of State's, let's say East Asian Affairs or Middle East Affairs or European Affairs, whatever it is. We could tackle those groups. So interest groups are a way for the people, you and I, to work together to address an interest we want. Say, let's say it's like the teachers union, right? When better income, better pay, better benefits, better ability or freedom to teach our students, we would address it possibly through NEA, right? Or the American Steelworkers Union. I'm making this up. I forget the name of it, but they're a union of steelworkers, and they want to address wages and safety possibly for their members. And so they're going to have people who lobby on that, right? And sometimes transportation unions and labor unions and other unions will come together to address a greater issue as a whole, because they've spent a lot of research showing the data, what the average employee makes across the country, breaking down by region, city, county, or state. And they can go and say, here you go. Because you have to understand that although there's something like 2.2 million federal employees who actually are underneath the White House, the executive, all those bureaucratic people who are employees, they don't have the funding or finances to do solid research on those particular topic, whereas an interest group spends all of its money and its assets on a particular topic. So the government then relies on those organizations, those interest groups, to present to them what they believe to be the best data, the best information. And of course, then you have competing interest groups. One wants this, one wants that, and so they're going to show you different types of data, and then it's of course up to committees or to representatives and so forth to choose what's the best information to set forth to make a bill. Now, of course, then that deals with the idea of the statesman, right? He or she truly only wants to represent the people. That's all they care about. It's not about the dollar, right? It's not about what's going to happen after they get out of office. I don't mean to make this a straight face, or a non-straight face, but let's say it's that truly wholesome. They want to just do what's best for you. So they try to find the medium ground. Or often, it goes back to a lot of laws that's been made where that individual senators, individual congressmen can't accept goods or gifts over $50, which is when I've gone and I've done lobbying work, I've often given a copy of my book. All right, well, the book, is $19.99, I think on Amazon. So that's less than $50. Here you go. Here's a gift. Here you go. It's a copy of my book, because my book typically tends to deal with, does tend to deal with a subject in which I'm addressing. So interest groups are really cool. They have a place in our society. The same token, you can have climate change issues, right? We're talking about the climate's changing, or just, and we'll leave that off the side, talking just about environmental damage. So you have oil spills, you have ships that are running aground because they're not double hulled on the sides of the ship, and so they spill thousands of metric tons of oil into the ocean, and it kills plant life and biological life in general. So you have them saying, we've got to change this, right? Well, in comes an interest group, let's say an oil and gas industry group that doesn't want to have some of these changes. So they're going to provide data to say, look, it isn't as bad as you think it is, right? I mean, come on, the ocean recovered, right? They're gonna think that and go, oh, it recovered and we're good, right? Or they may just flat out say, look, we know that it's damaging. We'll do a better job next time. Trust us. And here's some money, right? Here's some money. We're going to help with your campaign. And I'm not trying to point just out oil and gas. I'm using it as an example, right? Not saying they do that, but I'm trying to use it as an example. So interest groups are great, and they can be bad. Without an interest group, a lot of labor laws would never have passed. They just wouldn't have passed. There'd been no need for them, right? No one would have been addressed it, because it would have been individuals trying to contact every congressman. 436 congressmen, that's a lot of people to have to go meet and greet. And I've met every one of them, including the Senate. I've met every one of them. I've talked with every one of them. It's a daunting task. It's actually you show up on a Thursday, Friday, or Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and you go home on a Sunday and you're just wiped out tired. So to get one policy looked at. So I hope I covered it really well. Your discussion prompt for the week is going to be, I would like you to look up an interest group, and I want you to write about whether or not you agree with the interest group, and pros and cons. So again, your writing prompt for the week is going to be about picking a interest group, writing about the interest group, and pointing out the pros and the cons to the interest group. Don't just tell me they're bad and they're horrible and that's it. Tell me the pros and the cons, okay? I've also listed Crash Course. They're a great resource. Love those guys over in Missoula, U of M. And that's it. All right. Please leave comments if you like. Okay. Have a great week.